Video games are hard to make. Coding is hard, bug fixing is hard, and the process is without a doubt very time consuming, even for the simplest of games. Well, luckily for you, Scratch is a game development engine that can solve at least some of the challenges game development has to offer. And, as it turns out, that also makes it a great way to introduce people to game development. And a lot of people start out by giving their own takes and reimaginings of their favorite games. And while there are quite a few decent games made with Scratch, a lot of the games are severely lacking to say the least. So in this video, I'm going to take a look for myself and see how different people interpret Minecraft on Scratch. And more importantly, whether or not there's any fun to be had in playing these games for yourself. When you search Minecraft on Scratch, the first thing that comes up is Paper Minecraft by Griffpatch. This game's actually really solid. It nicely translates Minecraft into 2D. It features mining, crafting, a day-night cycle, mob spawning, and building, all in a way that translates well to 2D. It's actually really impressive that this was made in Scratch. I talk about this game in depth in my second video about Minecraft ripoffs, so if you want a deeper review, I recommend checking that out. Also near the top of the page is Minecraft V6. This game is a demake of the original game. It actually has several things in common with Minecraft Classic, the Minecraft tech demo that's been playable in browsers since May 7th of 2009. The 3D environment, the simple block choice, and a lack of a survival mode are just a few of the things I was able to notice in a few minutes of playing each game. Although I will say, as a game, it's pretty lacking. You could build, but aside from that, there's, again, no survival elements, so it's pretty repetitive all in all. But the fact it isn't a reimagining, but in fact the real deal, that could run on Scratch, is what makes this game worth checking out. But even though the last two games are solid enough, the most popular way people bring Minecraft to Scratch is by reimagining the game as a platformer. The ones I'll be covering are the trilogy of Minecraft platformer games by Racing Ace. The first one has you playing as Kirby? You run through levels comprised of dirt and lava, and you have to touch the diamond blocks to continue to the next level. The entire time you're playing the game, the song Radioactive by Imagine Dragons is playing loudly in the background. The controls feel a bit off. There's a bit of a delay when you jump, but it's really not all that noticeable, and because the game's short, it doesn't really come into effect. Overall, it's a decent game. Let's see if the sequel holds any merit compared to the first one. So next we got Minecraft Platformer 2. Slime Quest. This one feels strange. Whether it's something about the way you sink into the ground every time you touch it, or the fact the hitboxes on the lava are way too big, I'm not sure. These issues become super apparent later in the game, as there's a level where you have to jump over 3 block gaps 3 times in a row. And as you can see, I'm clearly dying before I can even touch the lava. But nonetheless, maybe the third and final game in the series will be better. The third game has you playing as Steve's decapitated head.
Looks like Herobrine got him.
The level design has gotten more difficult, and the jump height was improved, which fixes the issue about jumping distance. But while it helps for the most part, you eventually make it to this level. The funny thing about this level is that the lava problem from the last game still isn't fixed, and you still fall into the ground. And this level requires you to land a jump that, to my knowledge, is impossible to make, since the player's hitbox is bigger than it looks like, and you're required to land on 1 block. All in all, these games are fine, but definitely far, far from perfect. Minecraft Survival! In this game you play as Steve, and you need to, well, survive. Steve follows the mouse and you need to maneuver it in a way to avoid the incoming mobs. Over time, you move on from just zombies to a whole rogues gallery of mobs, like creepers, endermen, and even a ghast if you can survive long enough. There are even various different difficulties, which are mainly the same except you have less total health and items spawn less often. Speaking of items, each and every item in this game serves a purpose, and they can all be considered vital to your survival. There's a diamond sword that can obliterate anything in its path, but you still need to be careful since it only kills from one angle, that being up. There's a minecart that comes from the bottom of the screen and removes all mobs in its way. You can find diamond armor that gives you 3 extra hits, there's a bucket of lava you can hide in, and even a bow that shoots automatically, but, like the sword, it only shoots upwards. And then there are the 2 food items that heal you 1 heart and a full heal respectively. Unfortunately though, there's a really easy way to cheat at this game. All you need to do is move your cursor outside of the game and put it back in a different part of the screen. That makes it so that Steve teleports wherever your cursor is, and it allows you to avoid mobs altogether if you play your cards right. The worlds you travel through are Dirtland, Caves, the End, and the Nether. All things considered, this game is actually surprisingly fun. It's a bit broken, but I feel like the low-quality nature really plays into the fact that it's a Scratch game, and makes it arguably more appealing nonetheless. There are also several Minecraft quizzes on here. These are simple enough. You're asked a question, and you need to answer it. But there's a specific one I want to talk about. The thing that makes this one special and unique is that it was made back in 2013, which many may argue is Minecraft's golden age. It starts out normally enough, with Steve asking you questions and you answering. But then some weird things happen. For example, appearances from Sky Does Minecraft, Jerome ASF, and a talking cake? Even Notch himself makes an appearance here. And then the entire game just kinda fucks off and your awesomeness score increases. No joke, if you wait long enough at the end of the game, a repeated video of a dancing stickman plays, and the party rock anthem starts playing in the background. 2013 really was a different year. Minecraft run! The first thing I noticed while playing this game is the sudden switch from using a mouse to start the game to the arrow keys to control your character. It feels really jarring, as you have to switch your hand from the mouse to the keys as quickly as possible, or else you'll just die. In this game, you Minecraft and run at the same time. The auto-scrolling is really annoying, as Steve is rarely ever able to keep up while jumping and evading the cacti that are out to get him. Damn, bro. And it doesn't help that the side of the screen could straight up kill you if you touch it. The physics in this game also feel a bit off. I believe it has something to do with the floatiness of gravity. I mean, just look at it. The next one is just called Minecraft. This game is a reskin of the level 1-1 from the original Super Mario Bros., but with the game designed to look like Minecraft instead of the original assets. With most games, that would be it. But even though it isn't much, the game offers a slight bit of replayability in the form of being able to adjust the jump height and hitbox size. And it leads to a bit of wacky moments. This is pretty interesting, as it allows you to try impossible challenges like jumping with no jump height challenge. Impossible. Next we got Minecraft 3D. Not to be confused with Minecraft 3D, the 2019 April Fool's joke, Minecraft 3D on Scratch is a game that has you traversing an endless world of blue. In the land of blue, you can swing your sword for all eternity and walk in a couple of directions. There are no enemies to fight, so yeah, you just kind of walk around. There are hearts, but there's not a reason for them to be there. The game really just feels like a test to see if they can get the effect to work rather than it meaning to be a full game. I also found some other games just like this, but with a gun instead of a Minecraft sword. So they probably just took the assets from somewhere else. The last game we have is simply entitled Minecraft! And this is obviously a ripoff of Minecraft. You can chop trees, mine, craft, and there are even mobs! Wait, what's that? Oh. Yeah, this game is obviously just Terraria. It even credits itself to Scratch Area by Griffpatch, which is a remake of Terraria designed for Scratch. And this game is literally just Scratch Area. Take a look at both of them. Notice how they look the same? I really don't see why someone would choose to do this. They're clearly not trying very hard to pass it off as their own, since the game still credits Griffpatch. So I could only assume this was done because someone found it funny. So, more power to ya, PD_7. All things considered, these games are actually pretty fun. Some of these are decent experiences, sure, but I think a lot of the fun in playing these games comes from, to put it bluntly, the lack of quality some of these games possess. And while there are animations like this, Scratch, without a doubt, has at least some interesting and unique takes on your favorite games. Give some of these games a shot if you think they look interesting to you. Okay. How do I end the video? Okay, how do I stop the recording? Alright, here we go.